Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hey friends, Rita here. Happy Friday. I am so ecstatic to be having you here on another episode of the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're new around here, my name is Rita M. Perez. I'm an educator within the industry, and I am super passionate about today's topic because I'm super passionate about making sure that we focus on having a profitable travel business. So before we get started, because I already feel it, I'm going to be a little bit ranty. I got my notes ready to go, and I'm like, let's get in there. But I did want to remind you that my friends Carla Fritz and Melissa Erskine, you most likely heard recently from them on the episode a couple weeks ago about alternative careers in travel. And if you had signed up for the audio series, you heard the full episode. They are hosting a free informational session on August 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is definitely next week, totally free. I am going to add my link so that you can sign up if you're interested. It is an information session for those of you who might be interested in becoming a virtual assistant for the travel industry. So this webinar might be for you if you're a little bit burnt out from over-demanding clients, if you're newer to the industry and you're eager to gain valuable experience, if you're looking to supplement your income while still remaining a travel advisor, or maybe you're just simply curious about learning a new career opportunity within the travel industry. Again, completely free, August 28th, 1 p.m., and I will have my link in the show description so that you can check that out. Now let's get on with the Rita rant. That is what I affectionately like to call these. This episode was inspired by an idea. I don't know much, you guys, and this might be a little bit TMI, but I get ideas in the shower. I know I'm not the only one because I've heard this talked about quite a bit just in the business community, that we get brilliant ideas in the shower. And that's definitely one of my favorite places to get ideas. Just because you're kind of like unplugged from everything, I think is why it becomes that place. You might even be listening to me in the shower right now, because the shower is another place that I also listen to podcasts on. So hello, if you're in the shower, and I hope brilliant ideas come to you from this episode. But I was like, last month I had done a Travify webinar, and I feel like a lot of people were caught off guard by the income brackets and the sales that you need to make with the income. And that also threw me off guard. I believe one of the recent episodes I had talked about it, and now I'm kind of like, what episode was that? I think it was episode 163. Things I've learned about navigating entrepreneurship in 2024. So if you want to tune into that one. But it just caught me. It feels to me, and I'm not sure if this is you or not, but it feels to me that some people get into this industry and they don't really have like the business owner hat, the entrepreneurial hat on their head. And I say that because if you think that the bare minimum you need to make to kind of like sustain the income that you need to make for your business is $2,500, and really, like, when we're peeling back the curtain on that, you really need to be making like $3,800. You need to be selling $3,800 to get there. If that seems like a daunting number, then you haven't reversed engineered your business the way that you should, especially when we're thinking about travel industry and careers. Now, we're not going to like get deep into that. I've talked about that in a couple podcast episodes. So I'll try and like link that up, and I'll link my Travify recording so that you can take a look there as well. But one of the things that I feel historically within this industry that everybody's like, oh, but why, is the fee discussion. Now, I'm not going to tell you, like, we're not going to go into the bare bones of like why you need to have a fee. I really wanted to get tactical with this episode and tell you or mention some of the things that a fee can help you do, that having a fee within your business, having compensation for your planning services, what things it can cover for you in your business. Because I know, and I've even heard like some host agencies restrict you from even charging a planning fee. Red flag. I did have a host agency red flags episode, especially if you're an independent contractor. I can see like if you're an employee, totally different. But if you're an independent contractor, which means you are an entrepreneur, you should definitely have the ability to charge fees. Now I'm gonna get a little TikTok-y here. It is not cutesy, it is not mindful, it is not demure to proudly announce on your websites, this is like a big irk for me, that I don't charge any fees. Like that's a selling point for people to be working with you. No. We don't do that around here. We don't do that around those parts. I don't know like why it got so sexy to like say that you don't charge a fee and like why that's the upper hand. Like this should not even be a discussion point. Like this should not be a sales point as to why someone should pick to work with you versus somebody else. So I'm just putting that right off the bat. And if you're thinking that this may not be that right episode for you, I may not be the right educator for you. I know I'm not going to be for everybody, but I do like to give practical, tangible advice. And I also like to come at it as if you are one of my friends. We are friends. We are buddies. I have my friends' backs. And I am like really, if you saw me, I'm acting like the movements that I have right now. I'm acting very mama bear, like very protective, because that is just not right. And there are so many more facets to you that are so much more valuable and so much more enticing that have absolutely nothing to do with a fee, and that people would be like, here's my money, take it. I want to work with you. So no, it like this, we don't do that around here. We don't charge a fee as a selling point around here, for one. So we can get that off of the plate. Now, I know fee is kind of new-ish to our industry, meaning I know that throughout the past couple of years, it's been more of a talking point and more people are charging fees. And I feel like one of the reasons that might hold people charging back fees is because there's some other professions that don't charge fees. So I also wanted to bring this up because we're quite different than like the top two professions that I can think of that don't charge fees. One being realtors. So, and I think this was a lot of the comparison that used to be prior to everything that happened with 2020. Is that because realtors don't charge fees or financial advisors don't charge fees, why should travel advisors charge fees? They are very different transactions if you're looking at them cut and paste. A realtor is making typically a multi-six-figure transaction. A house costs at least $100,000 nowadays. I know that my very humble townhome is worth at least double. So through the past couple of years, a lot of homes are now multi-six, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 plus $1,000. The commission that you make on a six-figure and a multi-six-figure deal is huge in comparison to a $5,000, $2,000, $10,000 trip. It's just not comparable. It's not apples to apples. So it's a little bit different when you are dealing with these huge transaction types versus the smaller transaction types, which I know a lot of travel advisors are doing. So I don't feel like that's a worthwhile comparison at this point to be like, well, if realtors don't do it, then I don't have to do it. Then financial advisors. I feel like financial advisors might be a little bit more similar. However, Financial advisors are making a commission off you for the life of however you're working for them. So they're always making their little percentage point on whatever life insurance investments. They're making that percentage point. It's not just for one trip. It is for the lifetime of the trip. So it's kind of like if you're selling a cruise and every year you're making a commission from selling that one same cruise. That doesn't happen. We don't have that within the travel industry. So because of that more like lifetime investment or lifetime commitment, it's just, you can't compare that. It kind of, I can see where like with a financial advisor where they would be making really great income because they just have to sell the product once and they make commission off of it every single year. And travel is not that type of a product. So I want you to kind of like get that out of your frame of mind. I also want you to get into your frame of mind that if you're not charging a commission and you want to be, or if you're not charging a fee and you want to be profitable in the travel industry, what I see happening is that the ones that don't charge a fee and that are profitable, and I know like this is not a be all end all, this is just generalizations because I know there's special nuances with everybody's businesses. But specifically when I'm thinking about one of my YouTube travel advisor friends, he has a ton of volume. He is churning out the bookings because he has that searchability within YouTube and people are ready to book. So he has a booking platform on his website. People can book themselves on their own. That he does not, at least like the last that I heard, he does not charge a fee because of that huge influx. He's processing a huge amount of transactions. So unless you want to be working 24/7 or you haven't figured out the technology to kind of make this possible and don't have the reach yet to make this possible, this is not feasible. And I will say that he has a pretty decent sized team to help support that, because especially if you want to be an entrepreneur at this game, having that amount of transactions, you can't be a solopreneur. Or it will be very hard to be a solopreneur, especially if you want to have some semblance of work-life balance in here. So I know many people, that does not sound sexy. Like you don't want to be processing hundreds of transactions. And neither do I, because that is a lot. The other thing that I think about with this fees conversation is if you don't want to charge a fee, and we're going to get to my 7 things that fees can cover. If you don't want to charge a fee, if like you're really against it, it's like nails on a chalkboard when you think about it, then I really want you to consider a minimum spend with your travel agency. Meaning like you will only work with families that book $10,000 vacations every time, or $20,000 or $40,000, whatever the number is. Or you only work with couples that book $10,000 vacations, because that means you are booking a higher revenue source less often that you may not have to charge a fee for. Now, I still am a huge proponent for fees, but if you're not going to charge fees, then you better have a minimum spend. So at least not charging a fee, your business structure is still profitable for you. And I would love to hear from you. So you feel free to shoot me a text if you're like, Rita, you're very wrong, or Rita, you're so right. But I just feel like a huge chunk, a huge pool of people who are saying and proud to say, I don't charge a fee. I don't know if you're having profitable businesses. And that may be a hard pill to swallow. But I know that I was also in that boat at one point when I was full on in my travel agency, especially in the beginning stages, not wanting to charge a fee or scared to charge a fee. But I definitely wasn't profitable then either. So just putting it out there. I also want you to know that your business needs to support your business. And this might be another hard pill because I was also here. Your business needs to support your business. Your job doesn't need to support your business. I know there's many of you, and that's kind of like the blessing. One of the blessings of having a full-time, part-time, whatever job is that you're able to take whatever money you're making from that job and pay whatever bills that you have, and also help like make different investments to get your travel business on the ground rolling and all that. But if your travel business still is not making money and the money that you are getting from your job is funding your travel business, we've got a problem there as well. That is not good. Your business needs to support the business that you have. Alrighty, now that we've kind of like gotten some main points that I wanted to get out there, let's get into the top 7 things/expenses that I feel charging a fee helps with in your travel business. Numero uno is education. Continuing education, any certifications that you'd like to take. By being able to charge a fee and collect a fee for your time and services, you're also able to think ahead and plan ahead. So if you've been wanting to get into any of these, what I would say are the different certifications, or maybe it's a workshop that you would like to purchase, or heading out to conferences and things like that. That all costs money. And so you need to be able to be generating revenue from somewhere to be covering this. Now, can your commissions cover some of these things? Of course they can. But especially when you are building up your business, or if you've received a little lull in your business, your professional fees are really what are going to be carrying you through those kind of like ups and downs that we do feel in business, which is normal. Every business kind of feels like that. And I believe I recently talked about that either in like a recent podcast or one of my emails, if you get my weekly Friday emails as well. So education, and that of course comes top of mind because I always am looking for something to improve me, because education for me could also mean coaching and mentorship. I didn't really add that as a line item, but that also, like, there's certain programs that I would love to do and love to be a part of, but if the revenue isn't there, it's not justifiable just yet. And so that's a place where it can also assist with. Number 2 is kind of an obvious one. It's your operating costs. And so I think of, do you need to purchase a new laptop? Do you need to buy, like a ring light or a microphone because you're going to be doing media interviews? Do you want to buy a camera so that you can get like really great photos in destination? Is this your printer ink? Is this any software that you need for your printer? I think of, even the website hosting, your email hosting, all the things like that. Those are operating expenses that you're going to be paying for anyways. They're going to be coming out of pocket. So that is something that your fees can cover for you as well. I'm also thinking the licenses like Seller of Travel and your LLC, your local business tax receipt. All of those things are costs. They come up typically on an annual basis, and somebody's got to pay them. And it's just the cost of doing business. Number 3 kind of goes along with number 1 in education. This is your fam trips. Of course, you want to be going out there, exploring the world so that you have more confidence in the different destinations or the different products that you want to sell. Those aren't free. We all know, like, there's some sort of payment along the line. Sometimes you just have to pay your ticket to get there. Sometimes you have to pay for everything to get there. And sometimes you want to pay like you are a regular consumer because you don't want any special treatment. You want to be visiting a destination, a location, a resort, a property, because you want to experience it just like your clientele would experience it as well. And so we have to take that cost into consideration as well. Now, I know I talked a little bit of technology, but number 4 really is technology. And I'm thinking your CRMs, your itinerary builders. This can go to like some of your website tools and things like that, but pretty much any sort of tech that you're purchasing, or I'm thinking like even like a Zapier, if you're trying to integrate technologies together, if you have to pay for your email marketing because you've gotten so many subscribers that you have to go on a paid plan. Again, these are all traditional operating expenses that happen. They happen on a monthly basis. So even if you do not have any commissions coming in, let's say this month, you still have those expenses going out. So you have to buffer it with either making sure that you had like extra commissions coming in previously, or that you're still selling and working with clients through some sort of professional fee that can kind of sustain in between while you're getting your commissions. Number 5 expense I think about is staff. So I know many of you know that I am a huge proponent of really using technology and systems to really help you out. There will be a certain point where that will not be enough and something needs a human touch or human ingenuity, like that human intelligence that computers cannot give us. And so you will have to hire. Now, I say you will, not everybody. Like if you work your business in a way that you just want to be the only one operating in your business and you don't want to have any assistance, you can do that with technology and you may not need a person. Or you may not need a person full time. Maybe it's only a couple hours a week. Maybe it's only 3 months out of the year because it's your really busy season. But thinking about that in advance, like I know a travel advisor who she keeps the commissions and all of her professional fees go to pay the staff their hourly wage as employees. So that's another way to look at it as well. Number 6 on my list, super important, it's promo. Getting your name out there, marketing. So I know you're probably using some technology tools for marketing, but there's also a lot of paid promotional opportunities to get other eyeballs, new eyeballs on your business. So is this that you are being a vendor at an event? Is this that you want to sponsor an event and have logo recognition or be able to collect email addresses from an event? This also to me means being able to attend other industry events. So it may not necessarily be for you building your business, kind of like continuing education conference, but it is more of like personal development and to be able to network within the industry as well. Like I think of there's a women travel leaders conference that I would love to be able to attend. Like there's so many conferences that I saw happening this year that I'm like, oh, we got to make some changes happen because I want to be able to go to all these events, be immersed in the different aspects of the travel industry. Like 2020 is really, really exciting. And these are the things that I'm starting to think about is I know that there's a certain threshold because we have to pay for registration, we have to pay for travel, we have to pay for hotel, we're going to have to pay for meals and things like that when these events happen. So what is going to pay for those things to happen? Your fees do. And then last but not least, what are some other tools of the trade? I think about like templates. There's so many, especially if you are needing like SOPs, workflows, processes, task lists. There's quite a few people who are selling those types of templates to make it a little bit easier. There's also quite a few people who are selling their services to do it for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. So those are the things, like things that can make you a smarter, faster working travel advisor so that you're not all consumed in all the facets and all the aspects. Because I know like part of the reason that we got into business is for the freedom. And now there was a word that I thought of. I'm not sure if I wrote it down in my notes, but it was not necessarily the word freedom that came to mind. If I can't think about it, I don't think it's in my notes here. If I can't think about it, I'll try and remember and share on social media about it. But there is peace. I think the word was peace. That we think that we come in for freedom, and then there's all these things that are kind of on our shoulders as a travel business owner or just as an entrepreneur in general. What I think a lot of people are looking for instead of freedom is more they're looking for peace, because we quickly find that being a business owner is very consuming. It consumes a lot of our time. It consumes a lot of our mind. And not saying that you can't be free, but I think what's a better word for what we're all searching for is a peace of mind, a calmness, a soothing, that what we're doing in our work is peaceful to us in our bodies. What we're doing in our work is peaceful to the people who are interacting with us, who are doing business with us. It's peaceful to the people that we live with or that we interact with, like our friends and our family or our congregation members or anything like that. And this is something, charging a fee is something that gives you peace. It gives you the peace to know that the people that you're working with are probably going to really value your time and your expertise because they're putting money. You are the investment. It's not only the trip that's the investment, but it's also you, the human being, that is the investment. You're giving them the peace that everything's going to be taken care of. Like there's a social media person. I'm not sure who she uses as her travel advisor, but she just not recently, but she is going to get married soon. And she booked her Greece honeymoon with a travel advisor. And you know what that gave her? That gave her tons of peace, because she is also a business owner in her own space. And she is busy batch creating a lot of content because she's also a podcaster. And she doesn't have time to look for all those little details and wrap up all the different wedding details. So she needed somebody else to be like, look, this is what we're looking for. This is the vibe. This is where we want to go. Handle it. And so that in itself is peace. You are offering peace to other people on so many facets of their lives. Having a fee can also bring you peace within your business, that you're not working the crazy hours that you don't want to. You're not having to hustle your booty off because you're managing 100 bookings and you weren't expecting to be managing 100 bookings, but you need it to make the income that you want. It also gives you the peace to be like, if this trip is not for me, I can be like, bye, sorry, here's a colleague that you should go to instead or whatever. So there's so much peace that can be had. And it really starts with a little word that has 3 letters in it. So let me know, what are some of your thoughts on fees in business? What do fees help cover in your own business? Feel free to reach out to me, shoot me a text, or start a conversation in the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Facebook group. All right, that's it for me. I will see you here next week. Bye. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.